All right, fans. So we're in the midst of the off season here, waiting for soccer to come back in March. But it's been a pretty eventful few days, an eventful week for Orange County Soccer Club and its fans. And Dylan and I are here with a special guest to sort of talk about it a little bit. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
We are underway in the postseason, the first playoff game ever played in Orange County.
It's a 1-2, Godoy. He's found a great ball into Voltson. Plenty of time. He smashes it home and doubles the visitors' lead. Thomas Voltson.
Now Segber sprinting forward on the counterattack. Little handsy there, crosses it. Pineda, the extra pass. Seaton finishes. It rolls down to his left and parrying aside. All taken care of by the Orange County keeper. Leave it for Aiden Quinn. He'll strike towards goal, and it's gone in! An equalizer and a winner in second half stoppage time for Orange County off the left boot of Aiden Quinn.
This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. Follow us on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast and on Facebook at Orange and Black Soccer Cast. How is it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. I am your host, Ray Samora, and I'm with you each and every episode as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. Joining me as he does each and every week, but this time live and on the screen with us here on YouTube, we got Dylan from County Line Coalition. Dylan, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a little bit weird to see myself on the screen and to be on the internet in this way, but hello, everyone. But I'm not the exciting part of this week's episode. So
you are not. Like I was mentioning before, there's been a lot of great news for Orange County this week. And one of those things that we just found out actually earlier on today is a new signing for the club. It was announced via social media and on the club's website that Charlie Adams is joining the club. He most recently was playing for Real Monarchs out there in Salt Lake City. And I guess it's a good, as good a time as ever to welcome him onto the podcast. So we're going to welcome on Charlie Adams. Charlie, welcome to the Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, we're glad that you are able to join us so quickly after you joined the club. So we want to first welcome you to Orange County, welcome you to Orange County Soccer Club. The fans at County Line Coalition are excited to hear that you're joining us and to become a big part of the midfield for this team. So let's get started with a couple questions here. Is the first thing is, I guess, the obvious one to look at is what made you, or how did you decide to choose Orange County as your next club for soccer?
Yeah, ultimately it does come down to the soccer, and that was my main decision behind it. Look, this team last year did terrific. You know, they won the regular season in the Western Conference. So, you know, when the top team comes calling, in any league in the world, I feel you have to answer. And for me, it was to come here and play with these guys that, you know, have done so well last season and been so successful.
No, definitely. And, you know, you're coming from Real Monarchs, which is not a slouch of a club in the USL. Sure. So, I mean, coming from them, you've had some experience in some tough matchups. You've had some playoff experience. So you're bringing that type of experience to a team that was one win away from making the USL Cup finals. What is it that you're going to be able to bring to this team to help maybe push them over that level and get them hopefully into that final matchup of the season?
I mean, the team is great regardless. So, I mean, hopefully, even if I can add 1%, then, you know, that's good, because the team has done so well prior to me coming here. But, you know, I'm a type of player. I'm a technical player. So I like to get on the ball, and I know this is a team that, you know, likes to play and likes to create chances by having the ball and playing, you know, creative, free-flowing football. So you know, I think I'll fit in pretty well, and my personality is I'm very demanding my teammates, and I expect the same from them. And I'm just passionate about, you know, winning and playing well and doing well as a team, and you know, that's hopefully something I can bring to the football club.
Yeah, it sounds like Braden is a fan, and obviously Ray's going to be a fan if you're very demanding.
Yeah.
Everywhere lists you as a central midfielder, but where do you think your strongest role is within that?
I'm a versatile player, but I would probably say, you know, a bit more of an advanced number 8 role, depending on what system you play. So if it's a 4-3-3 and you play 3 in the middle, then I'm probably one of the 2, say, that is more advanced of the number 6, you know. But as I said, I'm versatile and I can play many roles, and I'm getting a little bit older now, so I've had a fair amount of years playing. So I feel like I have the experience to play a few different roles in the middle, and you know, I can do a job wide if I have to. So I would probably say, yeah, the number 8 role.
All right, that's pretty fair. Now you're probably coming up on spending more than half of your senior career in the US. What actually initially brought you here?
Well, what initially brought me here was, to be honest, it was very difficult for me in the lower leagues of English football, because the style of play is very, very direct, and in the winter months the pitches get very boggy and they're not very good to play on in the lower leagues, as I said. So it was very difficult for me to play the way that I wanted football to be played or soccer to be played. So I was presented the opportunity to come out here to Louisville City, where I met Aidan Quinn, actually. And, you know, I gave it a go, and then I kind of, you know, just really enjoyed being here. And I wanted to stay long term. So that's what I've done.
So you mentioned, you know, you came over with Louisville City. That's where you met Aidan Quinn. I believe you were a teammate with him out there. He was one of the first ones to jump onto social media and welcome you to the club. Or I think, I can't remember exactly what his tweet was, but I think he said something like, "This is a great signing," or a good signing for the club. Can you tell us a little bit about, I know you haven't played with him for a few seasons now, but can you tell us a little bit about, you know, your relationship with him, and is there going to be some immediate chemistry between the two of you out there, or is it something that needs to be built back up?
So I mean, me and him are mates. So I've spoken to him, I wouldn't say regularly by the time that we've been apart, not playing with each other, but you know, I have spoke with him a fair few times, you know, in the last couple of years when we haven't been playing together. So when I came here, you know, he obviously welcomed me. I'm actually in town at the moment. He welcomed me, and you know, we had a chat, and you know, we get on really well. On the field, I always honestly, I always remember him playing central. Obviously, he was playing centrally, and I was playing wider for Louisville. I'd play wide left. I just remember we had a chemistry where I would come inside, the ball would go square to him, and he would sometimes, without looking, play it with his left foot round the corner to me for me to get on the half turn. He would do it several times a game to me, and it was just, you know, awesome to have a player that, you know, would be able to see them things before he got the ball. So no, he's a top player, and I'm sure we'll build that back up in the next coming months, and you know, we'll be ready for when the season starts. Yeah.
So joining Orange County, you of course had to leave some teammates back in Salt Lake City, the fan base out there in Salt Lake City. Did that make your decision any more difficult to come out to Orange County? You know, how did the fans and your teammates treat you out there in Utah?
Yeah, they were great. They were great. Yeah, no, it's a fantastic club there. They have top facilities, and I made a lot of friends there. And yeah, the fans were great too. But I mean, it comes down to what you think's best for your career, and where you see your career going. And as I said, you know, top team in the West comes calling, and you don't really turn that down, especially because I'm ambitious and I want to win things. Not saying that the Monarchs aren't a top side; they are a very top side. But I just needed a bit of a change, and bit of a change of scenery, and learning under a new coach. and yeah, just excited to be doing that here.
Yeah. So with coming here to be a part of a let's say, I guess, a better program, in my completely unbiased opinion, what's your personal goal coming up for this coming season?
My personal goal is just to improve and just learn and always improve, learn more about, you know, a different style of play, learn more, you know, what of my teammates and learn about myself and what I need to improve on. And ultimately, that's all I want to do is just improve and practice and just learn more, because I know there's so much more to learn about this game. There always is. And you can always improve on stuff. So as long as I come away at the end of, you know, my time here and say, you know, I've improved as a player and I have no regrets, then, you know, I can't look past that. That would be fine with me.
So last episode, Dylan and I were discussing, we were actually reviewing some of the players and giving out some grades for the players for this past season. And one of the players we ended up talking about was Richard Chaplow. And, you know, he was definitely a fan favorite with Orange County. We definitely liked him on the team. We're set, you know, it's sad to see that he's no longer going to be on the club, but we understand when you reach a point in your career that, you know, you got to, you know, make the decision that's right for you. I made the comment that I hope that the club could find maybe another English player to bring onto the club. I think that brings a wonderful, like, soccer atmosphere to, I guess, newer soccer culture here in America. So I was glad to have you come on the team. Have you ever had a chance to speak or meet Richard Chaplow, or did you hear from him at all before you made this decision? Or
no, I haven't. I haven't spoke to him. I played against him a few times, and I remember him when he played for Southampton back home in England, and he was also at PNE, wasn't he? Preston North End. Would I be right in saying that? I'm pretty sure he was, but no, definitely Southampton. So no, I haven't spoke with him, but you know, he's had a terrific career. And you know, he's come out here and he's done really well out here, and he had a top season last year. So I always remember playing against him, and he was very professional. You know, having had the career he had and come out here, he was very professional. And of course, he's a top player. He's you know, he's played in the top level in England. So, but no, I haven't. I never spoke to him prior to coming here.
I think anytime you can, you know, obtain that type of career that he had, play till you're 35 years old, play all over the world, like you're getting a chance to. You've played in Europe, you're playing out in America now. You know, to be able to play the game that you love, you get paid to do something you love to do, and get to travel the world while doing that. That's such a great thing. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I do have a couple of fan questions that we had from the fans when we found out we were going to get you on here. And trust me, some of these questions are going to be a little bit silly here. But one of the fans from County Line Coalition, or actually the one of the top guys from County Line Coalition, which is the supporter group, Blaine, he wanted to ask you what your favorite vegetable is.
My favorite vegetable, probably broccoli.
Can't go wrong with broccoli.
I like broccoli. Yeah, probably. I have it just so often. It's pretty easy. I put it in the, you know, I steam it. So yeah.
Could we get a Charlie Adams broccoli recipe? Could we get like the sole rights to that or something?
Do you want that's listen, I have a rice maker that I bought from, I think it was from Target. So I put the rice in the bottom, and then I just put the broccoli and the steamer bit at the top, and I put some salt on the broccoli, and then I just switch it on and watch the TV. That's what I do for that's my recipe.
I'm definitely stealing this.
That's a perfect
Go
way
buy the rice maker. Go buy the rice maker.
I can just use yours then.
And then one other fan question that we had here. This came from another member of County Line Coalition. His name's Andy. He is a regular listener to this show. So Andy, hello. But he actually wanted us to ask you, how do you feel about cheese?
Cheese. I mean, kind of sick of it since I came to live in the US. They seem to put cheese on everything.
Sorry.
But I mean, it is great. I mean, I probably like baby Swiss cheese the most, if that's my favorite. That's probably my favorite. Yeah, baby Swiss.
That's a good choice right there for cheese. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
And if you ever get to go back to England, visit the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium out there in London, apparently they're gonna have this big old cheese room there. So there you go.
Or he could go to Loftus Road and watch a game he wants.
yeah, if we go to Loftus Road, yeah.
One last question I'm going to ask you, and this is something we asked Richard Chaplow when he came on our show for the first time. If you were forced to sing a song at karaoke, what would be your song that you would sing if you had to do it?
Oh, I've done a couple of initiations before, and I'll probably sing Justin Bieber, Love Yourself.
Ooh, that's an awesome song. My kids love it. Do you want to give your new fans here in Orange County a listen?
Nah, that's too embarrassing for me. I'll choke.
We'll let you have some practice.
I'll crumble live on air.
Yeah. Then we'll
let you practice
at the stadium.
Yeah,
before the first match of the year or something, at a preseason match.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for taking a little bit of time this evening to come join us on the show. Like I said, once I heard about the signing, I reached out to the club, said, hey, can we get Charlie on our show so the fans can get a chance to get to know the newest player on the team? We're glad and excited to have you a part of this team, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing you out there on the pitch. And we're hoping you can help contribute to an even better season than Orange County had last season. So thank you so much, Charlie, and best of luck to in the next coming months and getting prepared for the season.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. And that is Charlie Adams, your newest member of Orange County Soccer Club.
Not to be confused with Charlie Adams, the ugly Scottish guy who plays for Stoke City. Completely different. This guy is substantially far more attractive and probably just as good.
Is that so?
He's not balding, so that's a good start.
All right, there we go. So what we need to do is we need to get a little bit further into this and get some more, I guess, other stuff to discuss, if we can get it discussed.
Yeah, player ratings, right? Isn't that what we're all here for?
Yeah, let's get into some player ratings, and then what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other news that's been going on for Orange County, and
I guess that I was there. I should really remember, but
we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So when we last left you, we still had some more players that we were looking at grading on this season, for this past season here. So let's get right to it. And the first one we're going to look at here is Noah Powder. Let me just pull up his information. See, this is where, Dylan and I'm
lagging behind too. This is obviously not my normal setup. I'm normally not here. So I've normally got 20 tabs open on my two monitors, and I'm ready to go, but a little bit more mobile today with the laptop. So
there we go.
Whatever his stats are, can we talk about the fact that he had 3 really clutch goals for us?
All in like a little short span,
in 3 weeks in the 3 most difficult games we played this season. I mean, I think that's the basis of you have to give him at least a B+ from that alone, because he was, I'm gonna say single-handedly responsible for 9 crucial points that were picked up. So, if nothing else, that's a 19-year-old kid who knows how to be clutch and calm in those good situations, and also chipped Jake Leaker from Real Monarchs from 40 yards out, which was amazing and led to us.
Was that was the goal of this? No, was that the goal of the season? I can't remember now. It's been so long.
Yeah, I think that was.
In my heart, that was the goal of the season.
So yeah, it had to have
been. So let's go over his stats really quick. So in the regular season, he did play a little bit over 3,500 minutes for the club. Did he? No, this is wrong. It gave me the career statistics. That's a lot of statistics.
Noah Powder actually played about 1,700 minutes.
Dylan's on top of it.
Yeah. What else is new? I'm the unofficial stat man of the podcast.
I got that little spinny thing on my Google browser window here, so it's thinking. Thank you,
now
internet.
You know to use Firefox. It's always better.
It's my internet here that
I
we
can
have.
tell because mine's taking forever too. So,
but no, okay. So I don't have all his stats exactly in front of me right now. My computer's still trying to think here. But yes, amazing season from the guy. Amazing goal. Amazing 3 goals there, because one of them was the game tying kick in overtime.
We call that extra time.
Extra time.
Yeah.
Overtime in other sports.
Against Oklahoma City.
Be like if I
setting
said
up,
like overtime in baseball.
Yeah, that would be weird.
That'd be awesome. So in extra time against OKC Energy, that started that spark where we got not one but 2 goals in extra time. Noah Powder was the first one to get the goal there. Yes, the awesome chip over Leaker.
Yeah, Chip and Leaker
at Championship Soccer Stadium. I mean, what can we say? Yeah, I agree with you. You have to give him something of a good grade on this. It can't be a minimal grade on there. It can't be something too bad. I'd have to agree with you and go with a B+ on Noah Powder. Amazing season from the guy. And I still don't have the stats up here, so we're not even.
Those 3 goals he scored were actually the only 3 goals he scored all season. And maybe he's not that player that played week in, week out and didn't have that huge impact week in, week out. But when you are able to score 3 goals in a crucial period of time, I think it really doesn't matter at that point how good you are week in, week out. When the team calls on you and you come in and you're ready to go, that's all anyone can really ask. And that's exactly what we got out of him.
Awesome. So then let's do this. What can we do next?
Wouldn't Walker Hume be the next one?
Walker Hume. I was just flustered.
Ray's favorite. He's
flustered thinking about our next.
About the future of Walker Hume.
Thinking about our next person to talk about. Walker Hume. It's no secret. One of my favorite players on the club. I was probably, I probably could be considered, and I don't think anyone would have a big argument. The president or the #1 member of the Walker Hume fan club, at least here in Orange County.
We got to get a better name for that. Something to relate with that chant, probably.
Yeah. Something we can't probably say on here.
Definitely not.
But, it's one of those players where you look at his season and probably didn't get the chance that he would have gotten in many other places just because of the logjam of center defenders. Is it center mids is what you call it? I guess. I don't know.
What?
When I listen in England,
center backs.
When I listen to soccer or football podcasts that are based from England, they call them center mids. I don't know, but okay, center back. That's what we call it here in America. So we're going to stick with American terminology.
Guardiola, constant pressing. No one's actually the goalkeeper's the only one on your own half. Maybe that's why.
But when you have as many quality center backs as you had on the roster here for Orange County, made it difficult for Walker to get onto the pitch, especially later in the season when even more depth was brought onto the team. But when he did get his opportunities out there in the pitch, he was a pretty solid contributor out there. Didn't do much to make you say, hey, what the heck? Why is he?
We never got Walker
out there.
We got Yost a couple of times. We got Alex a lot. We'll get into that if we already haven't. Oh, we definitely have not gotten.
I don't think we've gotten to it.
But we never got Walkered. And this is a center back that never actually picked up a card this entire season. Didn't really do anything attack-wise. I mean, he's that massive guy that you just throw up there in the box. I think he was pretty important pressuring Oklahoma City in that match in the last 10 minutes while we were trying to scrape for an equalizer, and then even for the winner. But a little birdie that I can't quote, an unnamed source, if you will, has told me that Walker Hume was our best center back last season. So that
wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
No.
It wasn't even a fan. Well, I guess, no, it wasn't a fan. So, the coaching staff sees that amount of talent and then they limit him to 21 games,
Well, there's to be a reason you're bringing him back next season, too. I mean,
hopefully a promise of more game time if he's the best one that we had,
He did play in 21 matches in the USL Championship, played a little bit over 1,700 minutes. He did have 1 assist, also played in the US Open Cup loss to FC Golden State Force. Yes. Hopefully next season, a better US Open Cup run. But yeah, great for Walker Hume. If it was the fan in me, I'd probably say A+++. But
say it. Just let it be. Just let it be that.
Be a little bit more realistic on it. I'm going to have to give him a B+ as well as exactly what we did with Noah Powder. I think when he was out there, he did well. Like I think you were saying, Dylan, not super flashy. Nothing to stand out except for, I guess, the coaching staff saying, or not coaching staff, someone saying that he was the best one on the team. So I would go B+.
I think that's, I'm actually going to give him an A-. Definitely got limited, but I think the quality that he showed was far above being a replacement player. I know I was clamoring for him to replace Alex Crognale towards the end of the season. I'm sure everyone else was, and if you weren't, you could just say you were.
Maybe not Alex Crognale though.
Yeah, probably not Alex Crognale or his little brother. But I think the biggest aspect is this is a guy that the coaching staff realized is really good, and that's him playing a little over half the season, and then them believing in enough to bring him back for another year. So hopefully, and I really mean hopefully, he gets some playing time this year. He's the starting one. I mean, Aiden Quinn and Michael Seaton, and hopefully like Andre Rawls back on loan or something are the first ones on the team sheet. But Walker Hume would not be a bad fourth one on the team sheet. It's better than 14th.
And I think with Walker Hume, the thing that hurt him late in the season is if you look at what we had at center back, the closest comparison as far as just sort of style of play, size, would be Josh Hoiveld, who had just tons more experience than Walker Hume had. I think the reason you have Alex Crognale out there is he's a little bit of a quicker center back compared to Walker Hume and Josh Hoiveld. And that's where Alex got thrown in there because you can't really. It's hard when you have two bigger, slower center backs on the field at the same time.
Walker and Thomas Yule Nielsen beginning of the season because Thomas was the faster of the two and that little more, I guess, creative of the two. So when you have another big man, another Orange County Dutch blockhead, then it makes it difficult to have two of those guys, and then they get torched on the break, as we saw repeatedly. So, there's going to be no more Josh Hoiveld. I believe he announced his retirement.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
I think it was a down low affair.
I know he was out partying with Richard Chaplow.
I think you're allowed to do that in the offseason.
I think you are.
He's a big adult.
He was out there, I think,
in size and stature.
From what I heard or what you saw on social media, Richard Chaplow's friends and family threw him a surprise retirement party, and Yosh was one of those in attendance for that. So it's cool to see, these teammates from last season, hanging out in England, I think is where they were. I don't know where they were, but
I believe Chaplow's gone home for a little bit.
Yeah.
Home for the holidays.
For the holidays.
It's the Hallmark special. Can I say that? This might need to be a trademark.
The greeting card special.
Company special that everyone clamors for around Christmas. So you can find your mom watching that, I'm sure.
All right, let's move on. Next player we need to grade, or we're going to grade here, is Mr. Kevin Alston. Kevin joined the club mid-season, former MLS All-Star, came in probably did better than most people even thought he would do. Sometimes when you get some of these former MLS players that are coming down to USL, you don't always expect too much out of it, especially since he'd been away from the game for a short bit there. But he came over, and although it wasn't immediate, I think within the first few games, he solidified his position there on the pitch for Orange County. And once he took over that starting position, I don't think he ever looked back and relinquished it to anyone. So, Dylan, Kevin Alston, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I have to agree with you there. He was a handful. I talked about it last week when we were talking about Mark Segbers and Darwin Jones, but he would get up into a dangerous position and he would cause problems repeatedly. And he could receive a pass from Aiden Quinn, or he can receive a pass back from either Jones or Segbers, whoever's playing, or he could put it across himself. And so he made himself really dangerous. And he never scored, never really took shots either, but that little second line of creativity of getting those passes in was huge. And it's hard to say that goes unnoticed, I guess. That's probably one of the biggest reasons for our success, was getting those balls into the box and having either Envelson or Seaton on the end of him. So he's probably going to end up in the MLS. I think if he doesn't get picked up by the MLS, by an MLS squad, I'll be surprised to say the least. But I also think that someone's definitely missing out there. So if we want to re-sign him, get on it, Oliver. We need someone like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was. What can you say? I mean, I'm just going to go straight and give him a grade.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a grade right now. I'm going to give him an A. I want to give him an A+, but I feel like it's difficult to go like you have to be like absolute perfect on a season for me to get an A+. I'm a little bit tougher on that with the grades, but I have to give him an A for the way he performed this season. Again, I didn't expect much out of him when he first joined the team. You're excited when you read it's a former MLS All-Star trying to sort of get his career back after some personal battles. And the fact that he was able to come back out there and just sort of grab that role, and you could see it out there. He was a leader on this team too. And it's rare that you see that from the right back position. You expect that maybe more out of a midfielder, the goalie, the center back, but not, your right back. You don't expect it as much. So I'm going to go with an A for Kevin.
I think that's pretty fair. That's also what I'd give him. If you look into his backstory and everything, that's nice and uplifting. But he wasn't brought on as like as a charity case or just to take up a spot. He was a really quality player and probably one of the better players on the team. And also really, really consistent. So, that's denoting an A. Maybe an A+ if he was there from the beginning. But I talked to him at the end of the season. He said he'd spent a lot of time waiting for a call from a team. Finally got one from Orange County. Came out. And it obviously worked out really well for him, for the team, and I think for us fans as well. So I think an A is about as fair as you could be, I guess, without being too much of a homer. That is.
When you can also just think of it in the situations, you have this player that was a former MLS All-Star. Now, basically, the only team that's coming to call for him and wants him to play on their team is a USL team. Nothing against USL, nothing against Orange County, but you've probably seen this numerous times in all kinds of sports when you're a player that's considered a star, a future star, a star in the making, and then whatever happens in your career, now you're getting, basically relegated to a lower league in soccer, or if you want to look at, basketball into the development league or the G League, they call it now, or minor leagues in baseball.
Or the AHL in hockey.
Yes, whatever that is. But you can see it. I mean, sometimes a player will take that and say, and just sort of unravel. And it can ruin a career. And you look at what Kevin Alston did is he took this as an opportunity to get back to where he wanted to be as a soccer player and took full advantage of it. So as an Orange County fan, I'm glad it was with Orange County because it definitely helped us throughout the second half of that season. He was a big part of that. So definitely deserving of a great grade like that.
On to the next one.
Mr.
Joe Amico.
Joe Amico
re-signed for 2019.
Woohoo. Awesome.
Young, talented.
Let's see. What did he do?
He knocked over Didier Drogba, and then Drogba rolled around for a couple minutes in the final.
He did that like half the game.
Well, yeah, but I can remember when Joe did it, and I was like, why is a guy who's 5 inches shorter doing this? And Drogba's rolling around. Word I can't say on this on this podcast.
The funny thing is when we released whatever the episode right after that game, I named it a bunch of Neymars on the pitch. Is what I named it, and you cannot. I'm sure those of you that follow us on social media, you saw the Phoenix fans were a little not too happy about that. But
you're right, Neymar's better.
Well, yeah, I guess
at rolling around.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But Joe Amico played just over 1,600 minutes in the regular season. In the regular season, he did get an assist. It looks like he also got 5 yellow cards. And got a second yellow in the season. Never the greatest thing to see on a stat line. He played all 3 matches in the playoffs and played the full matches on those, 270 minutes. Also played in the U.S. Open Cup, played a full match. So you could tell when he's out there, whenever you have someone that's going to play all 3 games of your playoff season and play the full games, the full matches, you're a key piece to the team and you're an important piece to the team. So it's probably another one of those players that you're looking like nothing too flashy out of him, but very solid. And there's a reason why he was in there for the 3 playoff matches.
Yeah, I'd say solid and pretty quick as well. That second yellow did come at the end of literally at the end of a match against Sacramento. But other than that, strong, good with his head as well. Not heading because he's not that tall, but actually not getting stuck into stupid challenges that he has no business actually getting himself into. His defensive stats don't lie. I mean, he's not like the Forest Lassos of the USL, where he's going to get picked up or he's going to go up with an MLS team as they, I don't even want to say get promoted, but he's clearly like a leading USL quality player. And maybe we didn't see as much of him as we could have because of Kevin Alston's wonderful, wonderful season, but he showed that he was capable at the left on the left-hand side as well. And I talked to him a little bit towards the end of the season. I believe it was after the Reno match, and I asked him, "Are you comfortable on the left?" And he said, "Yeah, just about now. I'm finally getting into it after a few months of training and guidance from Cloutier and the rest of the coaching staff." He kind of rolled around and said, "Yeah, I think I finally got this down." So, if nothing else, he's versatile on top of being a smart and a quality player at that.
So I'm trying to. I'm looking at it. Is his assist? Is that off the throw-in? Is that his assist on the season?
I believe that was Owusu Ansah Contour.
That was Contour. Yes. Okay.
To Mats Bjorman for the opening goal in St. Louis.
No. Okay.
Which that guy from Memphis would remember.
Recommend.
Maybe recommend. It was a solid goal. It was pretty cool. Not if you're the.
I love that you call it the guy from Memphis.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
Sorry if you're listening. Much love.
So let's grade Joe Amico. I would say he would have to be another one of those B+ members. Not nothing overly, impressive, like nothing that made you go wow, but also never did anything that really upset you on there. But I'm going to bump it up. I'm going to give him a B++ because
I think that's called an A-.
No, okay. We'll give it if you're going to call
it
like
an 89.7, so they just rounded up to the A.
Let's go A-, and the reason I'm bumping him up half or is that half a grade? Yeah, half a grade. Or whatever you call it.
I guess it would technically be a third if
that's what I say. Yeah, minus
nothing
plus,
and then plus.
Yeah. And I'm going to do that because he was one of the players that listened to us, and I think I feel bad now because I think Powder is another one that listened to us or at least followed us on SoundCloud. So Noah Powder, you get an A- too. I'm being generous today. It's a week before the big holidays, so
it'd be cool if we could get a Noah Powder rap song like Michael Seaton.
Like him rapping or someone like creating one for him. Like should I go write down some lyrics about Noah Powder?
I think he could probably manage. I don't know if
maybe Dylan can do it,
but no, I can't rap.
But he's on a boat.
I'm on a boat. And it's going fast. But anyway, Michael Seaton's been rapping this offseason. He's got some pretty solid. I feel like you'd like it.
Well,
solid bars. I feel like that's appropriation for me to say that.
Michael Seaton,
no business saying that.
Michael Seaton, email or send a link to our social media, whatever social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Send it to us or email us a MP3 of some of your flows.
It's on SoundCloud. We'll just.
Oh, it's on SoundCloud. Yeah. Oh, then I'll just go get it off SoundCloud.
We'll just DM you, and then we'll.
We need you to
throw that into the.
Yeah, we need to get your permission before we can play it for the masses here on our podcast. So
the masses.
So
I'd say hi, Mom, but even she doesn't listen.
So Michael Seaton, if you're listening, or if not, we'll message you somehow. Give us permission to play your SoundCloud tracks on the podcast, and we'll throw it out there, let people hear it. Did we get a grade from you for Joe?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
You can tell because you didn't write anything down.
Ray's
been taking notes. That's why I keep looking over. I'd have to give him an A from what we saw of him. Never any big mistakes. I mean, okay, he picked up a red card and it's a second yellow. It's in the game, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with that call, but he was solid. He was versatile. He came in and he did his job. Obviously, we're not there for training or anything, but never seemed like he was one to really complain a whole amount or a big amount about his playing time or anything. So came in, put his head down, got his work done. That's what you want out of a fullback. And
glad to have him back.
Yeah, definitely glad to have him back. Moving forward, I'm excited to see.
All right, so we're going to actually stop there on the grades. I know we only did 4 this episode, but we did have, a guest earlier on that took up a little bit of time there. We were excited to have him on.
How dare he join us
during grading season? Yeah. But we promise we're going to get through all of the players on the grades. We are going to be taking a few weeks off for the holidays and the new year. As much as we love to come on and speak with you. Even podcast hosts need a slight vacation or break here and there.
Maybe Ray does. Maybe I'll
Me.
just do a solo podcast that no one will listen to.
Hey, tweet at us if you want to hear just a solo Dylan podcast. We'll make it like a special, like
It'll be like an audiobook, and
What-
I will just read an entire segment like this, and you guys can just send me literature recommendations for once. And I will
we got to
read
do
them
this. No. We're gonna do this.
softly in my NPR voice.
Write a short story, and then we will
I
get
already had to do that, and I didn't like.
we
it.
will get a collection of money from people, and we will pay Betty White to read your short story podcast.
I don't think we're gonna have enough money for that.
Oh, she'll do it.
What
She's
if I
cool.
just read my poetry? I have a poem about Orange
Okay.
County.
So if you want a special Christmas edition of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast poetry edition, let us know. Tweet at us. Hashtag my OCSC podcast poetry.
And put my OCSC.
Oh.
Definitely hashtag that as well.
Oh yeah,
So
hashtag-
everyone sees it.
yes. If
and
you want it.
hashtag Orange County Hate Week, so all the Phoenix people see it too.
Let's just get all that. Let's just do one tweet of all the hashtags. Who cares the information? But it'll be like, like the, I don't know if you know the British version of The Office. You have a season, and then they had the Christmas special. It wasn't, if you go on to like a one of those IMDb or anything like that, it's not going to have the Christmas special as part of season 1. It's its own thing. So we could do that. It could be like a legit own special featuring Dylan by himself reading poetry.
And we'll just put a disclaimer up in the title so that all of you can just skip it. 'cause
While
I'm
he pets
sure
a
that-
cat.
Yeah. No, I've got 2 to choose from now. Just
A cat
adopted
on
a
each
new
side.
one. Yeah.
You just got to get a headphone
They
microphone.
don't get along too well right now because the newest one just came in. But
Cat wrestling on Dylan's podcast.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
Not happening.
We're not doing that. I shouldn't even recommend that.
Yeah. Not in my house.
Never, nowhere. No cat wrestling anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's having any like cat fighting rings.
Yeah, no, we don't want to even talk about that, even though we talked about it already. Let's move on.
We
got
have some important news.
a bunch of news to talk about on this, right? If you don't follow our Twitter account, and especially if you don't follow Dylan's Twitter account,
And what are you doing with your life? Probably something better.
Dylan was one of the few people on Tuesday. What was that?
Nothing.
Okay. He was one of the few people at Championship Soccer Stadium on Tuesday providing his followers a play-by-play of what was going on at the stadium as
Anaheim Legion,
L
LA Wolves, and Orange County announced
had a
partnership.
little party.
Had a little party. There was
That was thrown by LA
fruit.
Wolves.
and there was coffee, and I think there were cookies, and I had nothing.
Dude, if you're from LA, you got to be bringing like King Taco out or something like that, right?
They play in Lawndale.
Isn't that part? I mean, if your name is LA
Yes.
Wolves, I guess LA Angels of
Yeah,
Anaheim
LA
playing
Angels,
in Anaheim.
Definitely part
And
of LA.
apparently Anaheim, what is their name?
Legion.
Anaheim Legion play in like Lake Forest.
Well, yeah, that's where the soccer complex is.
So then why don't they call themselves Lake Forest Legion? That sounds cooler.
Why didn't you tweet at the guy?
I'll tweet at him.
I got his card somewhere.
Nah,
Oh,
nah.
it's in my backpack.
But Dylan was there providing a live play-by-play. What should we do, Dylan? Should we read? Should we reread each tweet one by one as the event happened, or
No,
Okay.
I think that might be a little weird, but
Okay.
it does give us a nice segue into potentially this Christmas special that it's probably not happening, where I can just read things like, "We are underway."
so for for those listeners who weren't following you on Twitter and also didn't follow us, because I basically went on, I was following Dylan, I was at work, and I was retweeting, I was like refreshing the page every like 10 seconds, and every time I saw a new Dylan tweet, I was retweeting it onto our Twitter
You're my biggest fan.
so that people could,
Sorry, Mom. Just kidding. She's
we-
not listening for the second time.
if you look at a lot of your tweets, you had 2 hearts for most of the day. Now you might have some more here and
I
there.
got 5 on my first one,
Woohoo.
and then just
picture-
about everything else is 2 or 3.
The picture of the background.
Yeah, everyone knows the multimedia ones. That's
That's
gets
what gets
picked up
people.
in the SEO, so it gets picked up by Twitter and
Yeah.
promoted and everything.
Yeah, I don't think you're
Never pay
getting.
for
I
that.
don't think you're getting on the trending page anytime soon. I don't think we are.
That healthy dose of realism. I was so concerned for a minute.
But Dylan, let our listeners that weren't there and didn't follow you and didn't follow us, let them know maybe briefly what it was all about.
Okay, so basically the 3 teams got together and realized, and I think this is mostly at the helm of, or from the helm of Orange County, there is a significant amount of depth and talent in Orange County in terms of soccer and pro level soccer. And there's, I think, a lot of times that players don't get that chance to be promoted, and they get stuck in the UPSL or the NPSL and never get to make it to the USL. They might, play for the Galaxy Academy when they're growing up, and then they get released and just have some, I guess, almost journeyman-esque soccer career from that point forward. So the clubs got together and basically decided we want to have a more distinct pathway, or bridge is the term that they used, for players who the coaching staff thinks is good enough to make that jump up to the next level. And not only talent-wise, but with the work ethic required as well. So basically, Orange County is saying we are willing to listen for offers from the LA Wolves and the Anaheim Legion, that if there's a player that the coaching staff thinks is good enough to make that jump up, Orange County will take them on for a couple weeks as a trial, have them do the first team training, have them with the first team squad, and see how they gel in and how they fit in as a person, just not just a footballer. So if they have the talent, but they don't have the drive, that they wouldn't move on. Cloutier stressed that in front of probably about 10 or 15 players yesterday, that if they did not have that right attitude and that right work ethic, that they would just pass them on. But he also stressed that if players had the right talent and the right work ethic but didn't quite fit into his system, that he's not opposed to getting into contact with other coaches that he knows. He name dropped Steve Cook from Oklahoma City as one of those potential destinations. So it seems like it's a little bit less of a business move for the club in terms of an overall standpoint, and a little bit better for the players. That being said, it does cut down significantly on the amount of scouting that the team needs to do. So that's good. I guess anytime the team can save money, because I imagine with one owner as opposed to 5, it makes things a little bit difficult.
Yeah, we don't have a member of Fallout Boy or
and a former professional baseball team.
Or who's the DJ
baseball
that's
player?
Diplo. Yeah.
Professional baseball player whose career records as a pitcher finished at 69 wins and a 4.20 ERA. So that's pretty great. Raise your dongers, everyone. That's a everyone who uses Reddit is gonna love that.
All right, there you go. I'm not trying to cut you off. We'll get right back to that. But
we're good.
One of the things a fan did say on Facebook when all this news was breaking, and I'm going to quote it. I'm going to read it right off Facebook. The quote was, "Instead of trying to win the cup, we're going to help develop players in lower clubs that get sent to us, and we'll become a feeder club to other clubs." Is that the way you're seeing this play out, or is this more of a way to hopefully maybe find a diamond in the rough that we wouldn't have found otherwise, and not have to invest in a million scouts watching every little amateur match around?
I think it's a bit of both. I think Cloutier, because I know he does a lot of scouting, much as Sir Alex Ferguson did when he was the head coach of United. He's a busy guy. He already has a full-time job as coaching. But if we have other teams able to kind of push their own players and their own players' abilities, that cuts down on the scouting, and it also pushes us into a little bit more of a European development, a little more, if you don't mind me saying, Chelsea style of things, where we have a great wealth of youth, and then if it doesn't fit the system, or if we think there's a better spot or a money making opportunity, then they can move on. And of course, or with any hope, Orange County will take some of the money from there. And that's not to say that the Wolves or Anaheim Legion, depending on where the player comes from, shouldn't get a cut of that as well, because especially in the lower leagues, any amount of money is going to make a huge difference. So that's basically the biggest thing, is they're shifting to a little bit more of a European model, and much in line with what the MLS is now trying to do, the MLS 3.0 or whatever, the selling league that they think they're becoming. Yeah, that's what they're ascertaining to.
Well, and this all played right after we found out that Orange County and LAFC were going to end their partnership or their affiliation with each other. I know a lot of Orange County fans weren't a lot of Orange County fans were excited about that. They weren't heartbroken. I don't think it was the favorite part of being an Orange County fan is that you're the little brother or the affiliate, or what a lot of people would call the minor league team for LAFC. And a lot of that played off, like I think we talked about it, the player that got loaned out to Phoenix from LAFC,
Tristan Blackman.
I mean, if he basically hurt us in the final, and that was our MLS affiliate, their player is the one that sort of helped in the end of our season, which just was weird. So
That's how it goes sometimes.
the end of a partnership though with the MLS club. Now we're sort of the top club on the totem pole here, trying to help the even smaller clubs out in developing and giving their talent an opportunity. Because in the big picture, you think about it, by doing this, now more players are going to want to play for LA Wolves or play for Anaheim Legion, because now there's a better opportunity for them to get discovered by a higher up club, and in turn help advance their career. So, I mean, yeah, it's something. It wasn't something that you're going to hear that you'd be like, oh, this is going to take us to the next level. It's just a way. And I think it's another way for Orange County to get on the good graces of just U.S. soccer in general, and helping with the whole development of younger players, and helping get U.S. based players a chance to advance in their careers and get better.
Yeah, and I did ask because I was a little bit curious if this was going to spell the end for the U23 team for Orange County, which is moving into USL League 2 with the kind of rebranding and redevelopment of everything there. But Oliver actually said that they're not, that the U23 team is still mostly going to be for the college kids, to have that little, to bridge that gap from spring to fall for them. But that these new partnerships are meant to give a longer term look for the players, as opposed to the 2 to 3 months that they'll get out of the U23 team.
All right. So let's move on a little bit here, because there was more news. I can't remember on the timing, but I believe, did we know when we recorded last, or when we did this last, about Andre Rawls?
We did not.
We did not.
That was the
It was like the next
re-entry
day or something,
draft,
yeah.
which I think was maybe Saturday. I
Okay.
don't exactly remember what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that sentence even made sense.
So Orange and Black Soccer Cast favorite goalkeeper, someone that both Dylan and I were hoping would be able to make it back to Orange County. Hey, there's still a slim chance that he could make it back if
Maybe it's a better chance. He can get paid, and then we don't have to pay him if he comes here on loan. So
But-
I'll shout it out to Oliver again. Please, God, let this happen.
but
Please,
you would
some deity.
you would think with the Rapids, it's going to be more likely that he goes to Colorado Springs if he goes to USL. You never know, because the
They
whole
have a goalkeeper.
yeah, that's the thing. But hey, yeah, we would take him back. But for those of you that have been living under a rock or don't follow MLS at all, so you have no idea what happened in their reentry draft, Andre Rawls was picked up by Colorado Rapids in that reentry draft, which basically means they honor the remainder, or the option year on the contract that New York NYCFC decided to decline. Colorado is now basically honoring it for this next season. So it's not like they did this and they can cut him in a week. He's pretty much on the roster now for this next season. I guess they could do like a buyout of some sort. I don't know how that
I
works.
don't think they're gonna buy him out of a 1-year option. They'll
That's
probably just
not a
pay
lot of
him
money
and,
either. Yeah.
and send him on his way. But,
Bring him to Orange County any way you can, Oliver. You're the fans want him.
Please.
If
Yeah.
not,
And if he wants to be here, then why not?
which apparently,
basically.
I mean, I know we talked about it. Sound like he wanted to be back if he was in control, maybe.
Yeah.
And an MLS team didn't want it. I mean, it's MLS. I mean,
And if we don't have to pay his wages, I mean that's a win-win situation for everyone, right? Or a win-win-win.
Find
We're
a way.
all happy because
Find
he's
a way.
here. He's happy because he's getting paid, and of course, management and ownership's happy because they're not paying him. So I think that's that would be a win-win-win. But he'll be the third choice keeper in
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah, because
behind.
they brought another. They made a trade with Toronto for
Yeah.
their keeper.
Mhm. And
have
so
no
he'll
idea
be
who it is, but-
behind U.S. men's national team hero Tim Howard, except Belgians. Yeah, he's still there. I mean, he's almost 40,
I
but he's still
know.
there.
But he's like
And
the owner
also-
of Memphis, isn't he?
Belgium still won that match.
Okay.
No, 2014.
I don't
He had like 14 saves against Belgium. It was probably the most impressive U.S. performance by a single player ever. It just sucks that it was their their goalkeeper, and really shows that their defense was lacking.
All right, let's move on.
That's a whole nother. I could just talk to you guys for like an hour about how DeAndre Yedlin is probably not the best right back in this country. I would have Kevin Alston in front of him.
All right. Former Tottenham guy,
That's bias.
DeAndre Yedlin. Let's do this. there's more news. We're telling you, we weren't joking when we were saying there's a bunch of news to talk about. USL released their schedule, the full schedule. We don't know the game start times, but we know the dates of all the games that are going to happen this season.
Do we not? I thought they
did. They put, I was trying to look up that information all day, and all I saw was the dates. I didn't see the actual times of the games, of the matches.
Give me 1 second while
Dylan's gonna look up
slow
stuff.
internet works.
Yeah, my internet's slow as yeah. See,
Oh yeah, so no start times.
No times.
Let's be realistic. They're probably all going to be 7 p.m.s because they're all on weekends.
watch, they're gonna make that Reno match like a noon game.
At noon. It's going to be a nooner.
That's
and we're
gonna
have
ruin-
to leave at 2 in the morning.
It's
to get
gonna
there.
ruin my plans to drive up there. For those of you who know, I'm planning on getting up there. I think Dylan's planning on joining me up on that trip. I think there's a few of us that are going to be making our way up there.
Come with us.
I have 5 total seats in my Mazda 6.
It's 4. You have 4.
4, but if you have someone smaller, yeah. I think
No kids.
I think Logan was saying he might get to go. His dad might let him go to the match.
He's like a real adult almost.
Okay, yeah.
He's big enough.
What is he, like a 15-year-old?
Yeah, he might be there.
Something like that.
Logan, let us know. Tweet
Logan,
us
yeah,
and
tell us your age.
if you're
Yeah.
allowed to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like DM me or whatever. That sounds weird. Don't do that.
We're going to be making that trip up there. Hopefully it's a 7 o'clock kickoff, because then we can leave like at 6 in the morning, get up there by like 4 o'clock and eat. And
Drink.
yeah, there you go.
I mean, John Macaluso did Macaluso. Sorry, John. He did offer this to all the Vegas fans for their matches, was that he would buy the first one that found him a beer. So you can bet that I will take my
First one
young
to find him a beer?
strap. Yeah, first one to find him, he'll buy a beer.
Oh,
so I'd
okay.
like to think that he's just going to extend that to us.
Well,
as
dude, he has to give it to us.
and I
I mean,
will
the
take my
Podmans.
young, strapping, fit self. I'm flexing for those of
Man,
you
my
that are
belly.
listening.
My belly
and I
will come
will
along.
run to John and his wonderful beard and have him buy me a drink.
But we need to do
Not
this.
a beard in that way. It's like on his face, facial hair.
If they're listening and they're watching, if you go onto our YouTube page, look at one of our older videos. I think it was like 2 or 3 episodes ago when we were doing the awards. He was on there because he was one of the nominees for Guest of the Year.
He's guest of the year in my heart.
But yeah, no, Orange County fans, we need to make that trip up there. I know it's a 8 or 9 hour trip up to Reno via car. Or if you want to speed a little bit, you can get up there maybe in 7 hours.
It's a nice drive.
Like I said, I'm planning on making it there. I'll probably drive my again, I have my Mazda 6. It's like 2016.
Are we
So
sponsored by Mazda?
it's new enough. If they want to sponsor us, they can
I'll take
go
a
on.
car.
But I'm going to make the trip. I think there's a few other people that are looking at making the trip. So we'll probably have like maybe 3 or 4 cars worth of people heading up there. We'd love to have more of you that, if you want to join the caravan and make it up there, or if you want to fly up, there's Southwest and a few other airlines that fly up there.
Frontier. It's like a 2-hour flight. You'll
But
survive.
don't you have to go to like Denver first on Frontier?
I
think
mean, if it's
everything
like a
goes through Denver.
$40 ticket, then just fly. Let's be real. And that's their hub. That's how they work. It's a hub and spoke airline.
Maybe we should.
And I'll have an airlines podcast too over the winter. You guys are fine.
We
I'll
should
get
find
into
a
it later.
charter. We should find a charter company and charter a plane up there.
I
I doubt we could afford that.
that one.
So let's go into the schedule. So that's the very first match of the season. That's going to be on March 9th in Reno. And then the home opener is on the 16th against Tulsa Roughnecks, a team that we did very well against last season. Hopefully that can continue this season. Dylan, I saw you tweet earlier on our Twitter account, your thoughts. It's a pretty decent schedule. One home game during the week?
Yeah.
And it's
against,
an
the
evening game
Sounders.
though, right?
Yeah, I'm imagining it's gonna be an evening game. They always do the weekday, midday
it might
game in
be-
the middle of the summer for all the kids.
What
the
day is it
USL
on?
loves that. I mean, it's in April. It's on.
Oh, so it won't be maybe a spring
13th,
break
I
game?
think 10th.
Hopefully
sorry.
not.
No, they generally do those midday, midweek games in the middle of summer for all the kids. The USL loves it because it pushes their attendance numbers up because you've got, 4,000 half humans in seats. So it's butts and seats. The league loves it. The club loves it because it pushes the average up. And then
Hashtag butts and seats.
I don't love it because I feel like I have to watch my mouth.
That's going to be our title of this podcast now, butts and seats.
Butts and seats. You're welcome, everyone.
Yes. Any highlights you see on there? Games for fans to pay attention to?
Yeah, Saturday, May 25th, we'll head on up to what's that place called? Carson? Yeah, not Los Angeles. And then we'll go and
Track and field stadium.
yeah, and we'll go take over that stadium again with like the 40 of us that are gonna go, with the 400 people that are gonna show up for the Galaxy 2, and then we'll sing the whole time, and then some Galaxy fan will get really mad and try and fight us again. That's a game to go to. That's always a fun one. Other than that, we've got back-to-back away that are close and feasible games. We've got the Lights on June 8th, and then the following Saturday, Phoenix on the 15th. So those would probably be two. If you feel like having a long week vacation, you want to spend it in the desert in the middle of the summer, that's when I would take it.
When do those I don't even, I'm going to be nice. When do those, what'd you say, llamas?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. When do those, I guess you can call them fans, people from Phoenix come out to our stadium again?
Oh, sometime in, they tweeted at me early. Maybe it's April. Let me look really quick.
Yeah, and I think you went on our Twitter account, said I would buy a beer for them. Hell no.
Oh, sorry. It's May. Yeah, they come out here in May. And I did say that you'd buy them all.
Orange County fans, we cannot let them take over our stadium again. I know it's not as big of a match, so probably not 1,000 of them coming out.
I don't think that many came out last time.
Yeah, I don't think they did either. But they do seem to travel decently well, so make your way out to the stadium on that match, please, so that we can definitely give it back to the Phoenix fans.
Yeah, and maybe for the Phoenix fans that might be listening, try not to invade the pitch this time.
Yeah.
Just an idea.
Yeah.
You didn't see me invading the pitch in Phoenix.
Follow the rules, when there's security.
Mad at me for clapping at the end of the game.
When there are security guards around you, that means you're not supposed to go past them. Yeah.
Don't walk on the food with your food.
I
don't
swear.
Walk on the field with your food. There's a lot.
I swear. Don't try and imitate the Ultimate Warrior with those barricades. I don't know if you know who the Ultimate Warrior is, but he used to grab the ropes and.
I really hope those of you that are listening right now,
watching that,
please come back and watch this face. It's amazing.
It's awesome. But no, they were doing that to the little advertisements we have along the way. They were like shaking in.
They're pounding on them like Claudio pounded on them in the Reno match to try and G us up. Except that was like, Claudio, we've been screaming for the last 70 minutes. You can't tell us to do this. Like, you got to go find someone else to try and spur on.
And then they wouldn't leave the field. They wouldn't leave the pitch. So
well, they were gonna their watch their. This isn't the Phoenix Rising podcast.
Yeah,
but,
it's not.
I mean, I get it. I would have invaded the pitch if we were in Phoenix. I know everyone else would have too.
And our Twitter follower, our social media, I think he listens to our podcast, Harry. He's probably liking this now because he wants to see a battle royale between Orange County and Phoenix. He's always trying to instigate the trash talk between the two of us. And Dylan's actually talking a little bit of trash a little bit here.
Am I? I think basically if Orange County can keep success on the tiny budget that they have, like, yeah, this kind of dynasty, this kind of Red Sox Yankees dynasty that we're all hoping for is going to happen.
It will.
But if one of these teams starts being bad all of a sudden, then that's not going to matter. It's going to be like us playing Los Dos, where it's fun to go laugh at them while we, take points away from home, and it's like a home match.
All right. Any other matches we need to call out really quick before we move on? Because there's more that we have to talk about.
No, I think that's basically it. Yeah, I'm scrolling through once again. Nothing too crazy. The new faces are going to come to town. We'll close the regular season against Fresno, which should be I don't know how their team's really setting up for next season.
They have a cool podcast crew, though. I mean, but they're respectful.
That's true. The guy did buy me a root beer because at the time I was not of age.
And then I think our first match against one of the newer teams is the third match of the season against New Mexico United coming to town, I believe. Right?
Yes, you are correct. And then the next week we go out to El Paso. So they can just listen to Marty Robbins the entire time. The Grateful Dead.
Oh.
El Paso. That's a well-known song.
I don't know.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. Nighttime would find me at Rosa's Cantina. Music would play and Felina would whirl.
All right. We can't keep talking about El Paso and songs right now.
Now you know where my karaoke comes from.
There we go. Other news really quick relating to the schedule is the new playoff format. Mixed reviews on that. Looks weird the way they're going to do it, but basically 10 teams on each conference are going to make the playoffs. There will be a first round where the 4 lowest seeds in each conference will play against each other. So it'll be the 10 versus the 7, the 8 versus the 9. And then the 2 winners of those will qualify for the traditional bracket where the lower of the seeds will play the 1 seed. The other one will play the second
1-8, 2-7.
Or
3-6, 4-5.
Yeah, but if on the 7-10, if 10 wins, then it'll be a 1-10 in the first round.
And then they're technically 8th seed.
So basically, I think a lot of USL fans were sort of poking fun of MLS for changing their format, and then USL goes and
surprise, we had to raise our game too, and now we're here doing
some
the same
weird
thing.
thing. You're going to have more than half of the teams making the playoffs when you do this, and now you're going to have more difficult time for fans when you get to the playoffs that want to maybe plan ahead of where they're going to be playing, who they're going to be playing. As the 1 seed heading into the playoffs, you're not going to know who you're going to play until that first round of matches play. Whereas in the past, you sort of already knew if you're the 1 seed and that looks like it's going to be 8 seed, that's who you're playing. You can sort of prep for them a week or two in advance, where that won't be able to happen now.
It's bad for the fans too. I mean, it really devalues the last, let's say, 2 games. We'll say 2-3 games of the season, depending on how the schedule is looking up with how the standings are looking as well. And then you have a weird playoff to get into the playoffs. I think that's how the NFL does it, or the NBA or something.
It's basically sort of an NFL style.
It's just not great.
Or even MLB.
Could we just go to, in a way it is like that. And could we just go to 3 conferences and figure out the playoffs from there?
That would make it more.
The best 8 teams just play, and then you figure it out from there.
It's hard when you do that.
Done.
It's hard when you do that by the conference, because a lot of the times the conference, it's all the games are within conference, so you can't really say the top 8 here and the top 8 there and the top 8 there.
They have a mix around.
Yeah,
you do it like hockey or like baseball, where you play most of the teams in your own conference, and then the other ones you play a little bit outside that too, and then you're fine.
Now watch when we get to the playoffs, we're like, oh, this is awesome. This is amazing. This works out great. But as of now, I think it's not the most popular idea. And who knows? We'll see what happens with that. Any other news that we need to talk about?
No, I think
trying to fit all this great news in.
No, I think I already mentioned the news of my life where I adopted another cat. She's wonderful, and she's 7. All right. I think she got attacked by a dog at some point. She's missing a bunch of fur on her neck, and she can't meow properly.
Does she only have 1 eye, or does she have both eyes?
She has 2 eyes. She's very cute.
I live in a condo complex here, and I was walking my dogs probably a month ago.
You have dogs?
I have 2 dogs. I'm a dog person. This guy's a cat person.
What? I did not know you had dogs.
2 dogs. They're like 10 years old.
Grown men.
Yeah, I was walking them, and there's this cat that's just chilling on the other side of our complex here, right in the sidewalk. And usually when a cat sees some dogs being walked by, the cat will go and hide like on a fence or in the bushes or something like that. And the cat's just sitting there. I get closer, cat's just sitting there, doesn't even move. Cat's just sitting there, get closer. You look at it, it has like 1 eye missing. So it's like 1 eye just sitting there, just staring at us. I'm like, okay, my dogs never go outside. They have no idea what's in. I have this like beat up looking cat here. This cat's going to come and attack my dogs if we get any closer, and my dogs won't know what to do. So I ended up walking around, let the cat alone. And
that's a PSA for you guys. Don't torture animals. It's not cool.
That cat's probably a beast, because we have a bunch of coyotes around here. He probably got in a fight with a coyote and survived, which I don't think that's possible. But this 1-eyed cat had no fear of a dog. I mean, my dogs are small, but still, he had 0 fear. So, and he just looked like he'd been in a few fights. So, let's do this. Let's end our episode. We've talked great. We didn't mention it yet. Orange and Black Soccercast is part of Beautiful Game Network, BGN.FM, or follow them on Twitter at the BGNFM. You can find out a bunch of information. I think, listen to their podcast. I think they're planning on doing a live. They do like us. They do a live YouTube and then release the podcast the next day. I think they're planning on doing this big old BGN party tomorrow night. So if you get a chance to listen to them, pretty much they're opening it up to all the BGN podcast hosts to jump on, not all at once, because that would be almost impossible. You have like 25 podcast hosts, people that like to talk on a microphone trying to talk.
I would just sit in silence and be like, I'm not going to butt in here.
I think that you can plan. There's going to be a bunch of them joining in throughout the episode. I might try and do it if I have an opportunity. I don't know if Dylan's planning on jumping on there.
Depends on how drunk I am. I got some family coming to town, so it's time to party.
But check them out. You get to hear a bunch of great stuff about USL soccer on that one. That's on the USL show. That's part of Beautiful Game Network. I think I forgot to say it was the USL show that's going to be doing that.
Final thoughts?
Was that?
Final thoughts?
Well, really quick, make sure you also check out Angels on Parade. Even though the affiliation between LAFC and Orange County is no longer, Angels on Parade will still be covering Orange County Soccer Club. Great resource to find all your news regarding that. I think Dylan's going to be working on something for our website soon too. So check out our website, orangeandblacksoccercast.com. You can find all of our podcast episodes. You can find links to where you can find us, including YouTube, all our social media, all that great stuff. Final thoughts, Dylan. What's your final thought of the night?
All right. Well, I'm actually finished with school. Finals are over. I have a life again. I don't actually have a life. It just goes back to loving soccer 24/7. But if you guys have literature recommendations, it is time to give those to me. You can tweet at us, you can email us, and I will read them and then share my favorites of those over the next coming weeks, if you so wish. Also, like documentaries, movies, maybe a short TV show, stuff like that. Please don't recommend the entirety of like The Simpsons to me because I don't have. There's not enough time for that. But yeah, other than that, thanks for listening, everyone. It's been a very fun 6 months since I started, and we're gonna take a little bit of a break so you guys can all enjoy your holidays, your family, or not enjoy your holidays and your family. I know on both sides of that story. So,
And the New Year.
And the New Year. That's a part of the holiday.
Okay. Yeah.
What? That's why we don't go to work that day.
Yeah. Great. My final thought. Go Tottenham.
This is an Orange County podcast.
I know.
I'm not even an Arsenal fan, but go Orange County. Come on.
I have to do it though. We whooped on Arsenal today. It wasn't even close. I know it looked, 2-0 doesn't look like a great score, but it was amazing. Anyone that's a Tottenham fan, awesome. Yeah, that was Dele Alli earlier today.
Dele Alli?
Dele Alli.
All right.
Dele Alli?
Yeah.
However you want to say it.
The proper way.
Telling the Arsenal fans the score when they decided they wanted to throw a water bottle at him.
It should have been more, and if you're listening, you're gonna miss out here, but it should have been more like that would have been the proper way to gesture 2-0.
I had a microphone in my hand.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it would have been better had he.
Oh, okay. Okay.
See that one a lot in the stands.
The funny part, I know we didn't really get to see it here in the US of A, but right after the match, they did the semifinals draw. Piers Morgan, who's a huge Arsenal supporter, and then Peter Crouch, a former Tottenham player, were the ones basically doing the draw. And Piers Morgan had to take a picture for social media holding up a Tottenham jersey. He didn't look too happy about it, and that was worth everything on that. So, Tottenham moving on in the Carabao Cup, some sort of energy drink.
Sponsor of Chelsea.
Is it?
Warm-ups and sponsor of Reading full-time uni.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Boom. Get EFL'd.
Drop your mic.
It's not even a verb. No, I'm not going to drop it. It's yours.
But yeah, no, that's that. Let's do this. I want to thank all of the listeners that continue to listen to us and support us. You are awesome. We love you.
You're the best.
For those of you that are joining us for the first time, maybe you joined us because you found out that Charlie Adams was going to be on the podcast today, and you kept on listening and listen to us. And we hope you can come back again in the future. If you liked what you heard, or if you want to know what we were talking about when we referenced a previous episode, just check out all of our episodes. You can find them on any podcast player that you use or on our website at orangeandblacksoccercast.com.
If you want to know what the Walker Hume chant is, get in touch with the County Line Coalition. I can help you out there. Blaine can help you out there. You can find him on Twitter at County Line Coalition. You can find him on Facebook.
Somewhere.
Yeah, that's probably it. Ask somewhere and you shall receive an answer. There's also a Reddit, reddit.com/r/Orange County SC. One of our lovely listeners does a great job curating that feed. Wherever you are on the internet, there's probably an Orange County fan. Come say hi. Join the discussion. Why not?
And I want to say thank you to Charlie Adams for taking some time out of his evening to join us on the podcast and letting us learn a little bit about, what made him decide to join Orange County and what we can expect out of him as fans.
And his favorite cheese and favorite vegetable. And I wonder if those two things go well together. Next time we have him,
broccoli
we'll ask
and
him.
Steamed broccoli and baby Swiss.
And rice.
We'll have to ask him that next time. With that, there's nothing else really to talk about, I guess, except for this is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out. Orange County, you are my team until the day I die. And when that happens, I'll still be seeing you way up in the sky. Whoa, Podcasts are a great way for your business to advertise to target audiences. And the Orange and Black Soccer Cast is looking for advertisers like you. If you're interested in advertising your business on our podcast, please email us at info@orangeandblacksoccercast.com. The Orange and Black Soccer Cast has joined forces with many other soccer podcasts, many of them focusing on the USL. We're now part of the Beautiful Game Network, bgn.fm.